January 6th. Thank you. I appreciate that. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I appreciate the correction. I'll be writing 2025 for the next couple of months anyway, so that's the way it always works, seems like. So, thank you. Welcome. We need to start with a roll call. Ms. Harris, will you help us with that?
Yes. Everyone is present, and we do have a quorum.
Thank you. We have an agenda before us. Is there any changes to that agenda we need to consider before we move forward? If not, I'll entertain a motion to approve the agenda.
I'll make that motion, Your Honor.
Mr. Welling.
I'll second it, Your Honor.
Herc seconding. Any discussion? No discussion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Are there any opposed? We have an agenda. We have the City Council minutes for December 16th. Any concerns with those minutes? If there's none, we'll acknowledge those as they've been prepared, and we will go on to the bills. We have a warrant register before us. Any questions on the bills?
I make a motion we approve the bills.
Mr. Sellers making the motion. Is there a second?
I'll second it, Your Honor.
Schmidt seconding. Any discussion on the motion? There's no discussion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Are there any opposed? That's approved. We've got the revenue and expenditure report for September. Questions, comments, concerns about that report? If there's none, is there a motion to approve that report?
I'll make that motion, Your Honor.
Perks with a motion?
I'll second it.
Mr. Lynn, you seconding? I think I heard, is that what I heard?
Unless Mr. was you want that one?
You got it.
It's up to you guys. I heard you first, and maybe my right ear's dominant, so I heard you first.
It's good. It's his good ear.
As long as we got a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? There's no discussion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Are there any opposed? That's approved as well. Council comments. Let's start at the other end of the table. Ms. Hegeman, what's on your mind tonight?
I actually have something very important to say today.
Nice.
I'll start with Happy New Year to all, but I prepared a little something, and I hope that it resonates. My Uncle Richard Hegeman passed away last week. I made a piece a long time ago with the fact that there would never be enough time with someone like him. He had extraordinary stories. When I was young, his stories cracked the illusion of my father's, his big brother, prim and proper facade. Tales of my dad strapping my uncle to the front bumper of the family Ford and driving him through the stickweeds, or sprinting naked down railroad tracks after getting busted skinny dipping in the community pool. But it wasn't until much later that the truly jaw-dropping stories surfaced, the ones that were classified for decades. Like my father, my uncle was a veteran. As children, my cousins and I never really knew what our fathers did. Much of their work was conducted in the shadows, and much of it remains classified. Only time allowed work stories to be told. My uncle was part of Project Jennifer, also known as Project Azorian, the top-secret CIA mission to raise a Russian submarine from the ocean floor, concealed behind the eccentric cover of Howard Hughes and the construction of the Hughes Glomar Explorer. He also worked on Project Kannakin, where his team drilled 28 feet beneath the polar ice cap to build launch platforms for America's largest nuclear tests, including a 5-megaton Spartan missile, tests that would later help spark the formation of Greenpeace. He worked with Jacques Cousteau and logged thousands of deep-sea dives, some requiring a full week to surface and decompress, including at least one descent to 6,500 feet. There are many more stories just as historically defining, but that's not my point. Almost every Tuesday, I ask we remember our veterans, that we make time for them. But my uncle's death made something painfully clear. We aren't doing them a favor, they're doing us one. And when they're gone, so are the parts of history no archive ever recorded. The stories veterans carry are not the neat, polished versions preserved by history. They are the keepers of the truth. And many of those truths can't be spoken for 20, 30, or even 40 years. If we don't take time to listen, those stories remain in the shadows. And if they remain untold, they can never inspire the next generation. My father and uncle, two brothers, raised poor in a small town, went on to live lives so extraordinary we paid to see versions of them in movie theaters. That kind of truth matters. They are gone. No more of their stories can be told. But there are veterans all around us with stories just as remarkable, waiting to be heard. The stories of all of our veterans deserve to be brought into the light before they disappear with the people who carry them. Because, and most importantly, to see is to be. And if we want the next generation of Americans to know who they are capable of becoming, they need to know monikers like our nation's finest have never belonged only to the few distilled by historians, but that greatness and courage have always lived in people that are all around us, and most importantly, people just like them.
Condolences on your uncle's death. That's
Thank you.
sorry to hear
He
that.
was a great man.
It sounds like he was. Mr. Sellers.
I was just going to say condolences too. With that, it was a pleasure of mine to take care of our veterans here and in Salt Lake for 22 years of my career. So I understand fully, and I've got to know a lot and feel a lot for them. So just a reminder, for those who don't know, we've lost several people in our community with suicide this last few weeks, and it's just a reminder of how fragile things are. Lyman had a murder-suicide, which was tragic, young people dying. So there's violence going on in our communities. There's lots of people suffering for different things. So be mindful of your neighbors, be mindful of family members. If something's happening, reach out. I mean, Chief Brandish and his staff are very well equipped to be first responders and be there to hopefully stop bad things from happening when they went before they happen. I'm grateful for them. So that's what I have.
Mr. Walling.
Thank you. Thank you for your dad and uncle service. That's remarkable. Just one thing, thank Mika and her team and the committee for the bison drop, especially the fire department for coming through with the fire truck. And I don't know if any of you went down there. It was nice weather for the most part for January, but it went off well, and we had a nice crowd there. Could have been better, but it was a fun evening, and community choir director and I think her daughter sang a couple songs.
Her sister.
Sister.
Yes, sir.
Sang some patriotic songs, and it was a good kickoff to the events that are going to happen this year with the celebration of the Declaration. That bison is sitting in the courthouse, and it'll be traveling to different communities. It'll make an appearance at the Evanston City Hall for a couple months, and then So we're going to move it, it's going to be moved around,
I
so.
want to put it, it's big.
Yes, and don't ride it. So, but it was created by a young man from Evanston that lives in St. George now, and he's the one that did the train, and then he only hires Evanston alumnus to work for him down there, and they're the ones that painted it, so it was a good event, so
Excellent.
that's all I have.
Thank you. Mr. Perks.
Thanks, Jim. I just want to wish everybody a great new year. I hope it's a great one for every one of you and the city.
Mr. Lind.
Condolences to your uncle. I'd also like to send condolences to the Bradshaws out in the valley. That was a tragic event, and I usually let Mike speak to the suicide stuff but it is tough, and if people are struggling, please do what you can to help. But it is a new year, 2026, and I think we got a lot of great things happening, and I look forward to the new year.
Nice. Mr. Schmidt.
And I'd like to thank everybody also for the job that they did, the staff and everyone, and all the people behind the scenes on the decorations over the holiday season and for the New Year's and everything that everybody did. Can't thank them enough. They did a great job. Also, condolences to everybody that's been lost, and I hope this new year meets all your dreams and all your wishes for this next year. Thank you.
Thank you. Well, I think I'd just say amen to all of that. I agree with everything that was said, and I was going to mention the Buffalo and the New Year's celebration and the ongoing celebration that we'll see over the course of the next year as we...
Bison.
What did I say?
Buffalo.
What's wrong with that?
It's not a buffalo, it's a bison.
At any rate, it was a neat event on New Year's Eve, and it's fun to be involved in that. And so I think we've got a lot of fun things coming up over the course of this year as we have our 250th celebration. So with that, we will move on. We do have a couple of board appointments to consider. The same name, same guy, and so I'll just, he's served double duty for some time, and he's been willing to continue, and I think that would be a good thing. Mr. Dan Wheeler, I'd like to consider him or appoint him, bring him forth to serve a 3-year term, or continue to serve another 3-year term on the Uintah County Economic Development Board, as well as the Lodging Tax Board. Those are both 3-year terms to expire January of 2029. If somebody would like to make a motion to that effect.
I'll make that motion.
Mr. Willing? Mr. Sellers seconding. Is there any discussion?
Dan's done a great job on the lodging board. He's a real asset to have.
Dan cares a lot about this community, and he volunteers his time a lot.
Yes.
So,
It's not the only
And this
board
is not the only thing he's doing, is it? Yeah, he's hooked up. So we appreciate him. If there's no other discussion, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Are there any opposed? That's done. We appreciate Mr. Wheeler. We now have our appointments for our department heads and attorney and municipal judges. I'm going to put those names forward in a list, as we've done in years past. And I'll mention these names, and then we will move forward. I'd like to appoint as our police chief, Mr. Mike Vranish, as our city clerk, Diane Harris, as our city treasurer, Trudy Lim, as our community development director, Rocco O'Neill, as our director of engineering and planning, Damon Newsom, as our public works director, Gordon Robinson, as our city attorney and city prosecutor, Mark Harris, as our municipal court judge, Dean Stout, and as an alternate municipal court judge, Jeff Phillips. Somebody would like to make a motion to that effect.
I'll make that motion. Will you appoint?
I'll second it, Your Honor.
Welling motion, Mr. Perks seconding. Any discussion?
I'd like to make a motion to break them out one by one.
There's a motion to break them out separately. Do you have somebody in mind that you'd like, or you just want to break them all separately together? I mean, all separately, or one in particular, or a couple of in particular that you'd like to pull out?
One by one.
There's a motion. Is there a second to that motion?
I'll second that motion.
Got a motion and a second to approach these names individually. Is there any discussion on the motion? Personally, I don't see the need to do that, but that's not my opinion, but that's okay. Is there any discussion?
Well, the only way to have any kind of alternating votes of any kind, not that I have any, I'm just saying unless you break them out individually, you can't, it's either all or nothing unless you break them out individually. So
I understood. I understand.
So I understand the motion.
Any further discussion? There's no further discussion, then all in favor of addressing these individuals separately, say aye.
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 All opposed?
Opposed.
Opposed.
So that failed.
3-3? I don't know.
Do I get to vote on that one?
Sure.
So we've got 3 ayes and 4 noes. So then we address them together. Is that the way you understand it, Mr. Harris?
Yes, sir.
Okay. We'll go back to the original appointments. Is there a motion to approve these names that I previously presented? You already
I already made that
I'm
motion. It's
sorry.
already been
We
seconded.
have a motion and second on the original motion. Is there any discussion on that motion?
Yeah, I do have
Go
some
ahead,
discussion. Just no matter which way I'm going to vote, yes, no, whatever, each one of these are individual appointments, so to lump them all together and vote all at once, right, wrong, or indifferent, seems, I'm sorry, that just seems interesting, and I don't know what the statute is, I don't know what the law is, but that seems interesting that you would just lump it all together. Usually appointments, especially if there's a motion made, they're usually broken out into individual votes, but I don't know that law, I don't know that rule. So,
Well,
but I would like to comment that just seems, the last time we did this last year, we broke them out because I wanted to individually commend each one of these department heads. That was actually why I wanted to break it out, so that I could give them all an attaboy to say thank you. That's why we did it last time. So I'm just curious. I'm fine with whatever this council decides, but I don't know what the law is actually.
I do.
Please, Mr. Harris, go ahead.
The statute and code section of the city code don't provide a procedure for voting on confirmation. It just requires confirmation. And so it doesn't control that. However, Councilor Wynn, I think last year they were voted on as a block. I think there was a motion for an executive session that was approved by the body. We came back and the department heads were appointed in a block.
It was all appointed at the same time?
Yes.
I know that we've done it both ways in the past, so. But I hear you.
I don't know the rules, so I'm curious. I mean, if it's called for to be voted on individually, I don't know if we can vote against that.
I know that the rule, and they're right. So I made the motion, but it takes a majority for a motion to go through. So I was outvoted. So now it has to be voted for in a block. There's no procedure that dictates block or no individual. That's a choice. And so I was outvoted. The motion was down from 4-3. And so now it has to go into a block because of that. So it's either yes or no. So
Okay. And like I said, no, I'm not trying to cause controversy. I just I want to clarify that we do it right. So,
Could I ask a question, Your Honor?
Please, go ahead.
Even though in a block, isn't it true that you could have comments or discussion on individuals within that block?
Absolutely.
I mean, we could, if that's what
yeah.
is needed or we as a council would like to do, I'm sure that if there's individuals that we're concerned about or if there's individuals that we want to make comments on, I think we have the right to do that.
That involves an executive session because we're discussing staff. Private and, private.
Could, doesn't automatically.
Doesn't necessarily have to, yeah. Doesn't have to. Any further discussion? I will simply say before we call for the vote that I have, I've worked with all of these individuals. These are appointments that I make as the mayor on a yearly basis. I have worked with all of these individuals over the last varying number of years. I think that our community is extremely lucky to have the caliber of individuals that we have available to us, and that work and manage the business of the city. I think that we are extremely lucky to have each and every one of them, and I think that that's quite honestly the best person for the job, certainly at this point, and I appreciate their willingness to continue to serve. So, is there any further discussion?
You know, I believe that every one of these people going down the list wear more than one hat.
Yeah.
You know, most of them are pretty good at switching that hat depending on what their job that particular part of that day is. But every one of them wear more than one hat, and you know, I think they do an excellent job. So thanks, guys. And that's why I thought that pulling it out individually was kind of a waste of time, but probably not. But it's because I support every one of you, and thank you.
Amen to that. Amen.
The only other comment I'd like to make is I have met with every individual that we're appointing, not because of the appointments, but on business, that I've interrupted their day, and they've always been taking the time to sit down and talk and explain my questions to me, and I appreciate that, with the exception of our municipal court judge, and I try to stay out of that realm. So, but other than that, every employee that I've ever asked for assistance or to answer my questions, they've been more than happy to do that. So I want to thank them for that also.
Excellent. Anything further?
Like I said, to break them out individually would be to say that, we could praise everyone individually for what they do, because every one of you have a different job and a different task for the city. So I do want to say I appreciate the work that is done by the city. I think we got a good crew. So
excellent. If there's no further discussion, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Are there any opposed? One? Okay. Those are all confirmed. I appreciate each and every one of you. Our next item is an election of the council president for the upcoming year. Mr. Lind has served as our president currently. So I guess I'll take nominations for the upcoming year's council president.
I wouldn't mind reserving personally, but I don't know if I can nominate myself.
I don't know either.
I'll nominate you. I'll nominate Evan Perks.
We've got Mr. Sellers, you're nominating Mr. Lind? Is that what you said?
Yeah.
And Mr. Welling, you
Because
said?
he said he's willing to do it.
Mr. Welling, you said you were nominating Mr. Perks?
Perks, yep.
Any other nominations? How do we want to do this, Mr.? Maybe just...
You choose not to vote, correct?
Yes, yes.
You just ask for a show of hands to who votes for who?
Those who wish to support Mr. Lind would show by the uplifted hand. Okay, so that's 3. Mr. Perks.
Thanks, guys.
I got 3-3.
Now you can break.
Now we've done that. We've had this happen before.
Yes, we did.
And we put the names in a hat and drew one out. We had this. Who was that when we had that?
That was Wendy Schuler and me.
And you? Is that who we did?
And Wendy got it.
Wendy got it? Is that who it was? So
You rock, paper, scissors.
what?
I'll put,
Shall we just do that? Is everybody comfortable with that?
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm fine with you making a decision too, because
no, I don't want to do that. That's your decision. That's the council decision. I need to respect that. So I don't want to. Because honestly, quite honestly, Either one of those names is fine with me. I don't have any, I mean, either one of you would be just fine, so.
I got that.
You got the hat.
And this should be a surprise to me.
Very nice.
Now we got to discuss whether it's a bison or a buffalo.
I know, I messed up too, I'm sorry.
So we have somebody out here?
Yeah, absolutely. Just let at random, had somebody pull out a name. We can't go wrong with either name, so we're.
No, we can't go wrong.
Councilor Perks.
Congratulations.
Congratulations, Mr. President.
Thanks.
And thank you.
Thank you, Dave.
Jesse, for your service. Like I say, we couldn't go wrong either name, so that works. So we have no consent agenda nor unfinished business. We do have some new business, and we'll start there with a motion to approve an agreement with River Oaks Communications for consulting services regarding All West Communications agreement. Mr. Harris, you want to explain what we're doing here to us?
Yes, Mr. Mayor, thank you. And council, I'll talk about both the motions. They are to approve a letter agreement with River Oaks Communication for consulting services for the city regarding All West Communications franchise agreement renewals and a franchise agreement request from Visionary Communications for a new franchise. Visionary provides services similar to All West Telecom. All West actually has two franchises, one for we call it cable television, and one for telecoms, which includes the fiber and VOP, voice over internet protocol. So the franchise entitles them to use city streets, alleys, and ways to put their lines in. Mm-hmm. So they'll run fiber. There's also franchises for electricity, gas, for gas lines. And those are the main ones. All West had a franchise for cable TV and telecoms from starting in 2000. And it was renewed in 2015. The period was 10 years. So All West Communications, two franchises expired at the end of December. We contacted them prior to expiration. Yeah, they want to continue with their franchise agreements, which they have to have. Visionary is a competitor in certain respects with All West. I believe that Visionary is centered in Gillette, Wyoming, but they want the franchise for the similar purpose of laying their lines. They have a project scheduled to start end of March, early April. And I would imagine it's going to be laying communication, telecom lines. So the process is to pass an ordinance on 3 readings, which incorporates an agreement for the franchises. These franchises are controlled by federal law, particularly telecoms, and a state statute which was enacted in 2020. They are the two current All West Communication franchises are based upon a franchise rate of 1% of gross revenue. So 1% of gross revenue is paid by the franchisee, All West, to the city on an annual basis. Question number 1 is, why is it 1%? I have no idea. In my conversations with the city treasurer, she indicated that in responding to questions, and it could have been, was it Wham, Trudy, that sent you that survey about what we were charging on the rates? I think everybody that we have a franchise with is 1%, including Rocky Mountain Power and Enbridge, whatever they call it. So and I think from what I've seen from Visionary, they're requesting a 1%, and that's what the All West is. Now, there's nothing magical about that. That can be negotiated. The other thing is that telecoms are very smart in the effect that they say, if you give me a franchise, because by federal law and by our statute, the terms have to be non-discriminatory between competing providers. So what they'll do is they'll say, our franchise rate should be the lowest that is paid to a competitor. So in other words, they're equal. And if you charge one 2%, you charge the other one 2%. So that percentage is a matter of negotiation. Now, what affects that percentage? Just remember as we go forward with these, that you know what's going to happen with that franchise fee. It already at 1% is passed on to who? All of us. By anyone. CenturyLink has one. So that fee gets passed on. So if it goes up, it's going to be passed on to the consumer. But there's no magic about 1%. So I think, our obligation is to see what we can do to keep the rates affordable for the consumer, but maximize a reasonable revenue potential for the city. The other issue is the term. These two are 10 years. I believe that our electricity and natural gas may be 20 years that we have. Why the difference? I don't know.
Okay.
So River Oaks is a company located in Denver, and their vice president is Bob Dushan, who is actually started his career as an attorney. And he and his son run River Oaks. I've met them through the Wyoming Association of Municipalities. And as I indicated in a response to Councillor Lynn's questions, some questions, they have negotiated with Visionary. They haven't with All West because All West is pretty confined to our quarter of the state a lot. And I don't know that they've done any work with Idaho or Utah. This is River Oaks now. But they assist the city with negotiating and review of the franchise agreements to make sure that the terms are reasonable, non-discriminatory, and fit within federal law and state. So my recommendation is to approve the letter contract. They have a not to exceed amount in them of $9,300 for All West and $5,800 for Visionary. They're at $285 an hour for services. And so if he thinks, he being Mr. Dushan, is approaching that, he is to notify me and doesn't perform any work over that. That is his estimate. These services come out of the city attorney's budget, account 10-432-5701 legal. That is budgeted at $15,000, was budgeted at $15,000. We have expended $600. I have expended $600 out of that. There's $14,400. That's the line item principally. There is also another account number 5801 that's legal for $5,000 if we approach that.
Okay, excellent. Thank you. I know, Mr. Lynn, you had some questions. Did you get those
Yeah, most of them.
concerns resolved?
Could you further explain mainly franchise? When you say franchise, what do you mean by franchise?
A franchise in this case, Councilor, Mr. Mayor, is the right. It refers to the right of those utility companies to use our streets, alleys, and I'm going to say dedicated ways to lay their lines and put their facilities in.
Okay. And you explained that. I just kind of wanted that to better explain to everybody that that's what a franchise
Our
is.
statutes, they call it a franchise. So don't think McDonald's.
Yeah.
And that 1% or whatever that fee is there to compensate the city, kind of like an easement, right?
Yep.
They're going to use our property. property dedicated to us. And there's a lot of, this involves the city engineer and of course, Gordon Robinson, because Public Works need to know, and say, and those franchise agreements, the ordinances do address and say, we're not going to put our lines in any way it's going to interfere with your water, sewer, any other public infrastructure, streets. Yeah. So the franchise is the right to use our right of ways for installing their facility.
Then you explained that through that email I sent pretty well, but it's to help explain that to everybody else too. So this addresses Visionary and All West. What about Union? Do they have any lines?
Yep.
I don't think Union has one.
Not sure of any union. I don't think so.
I'm not aware that Union does.
I think they're all
They're all
wired.
wired.
Because,
I think they're all wireless.
what's that?
I think they're all wireless.
Yes, because they have the towers, Councilor Lynn, and they do that via wireless connection.
So the reason I asked that is because if they already had a franchise set up with them, that would have already set the precedent for what we could charge if they had one. So that's why I'm asking.
Yes.
Right.
I understand what you're saying.
Understand what I'm saying? Okay.
Can I say something? I went back because I was confused and I wanted to clarify. So I went back and re-listened to the Union Wireless gentleman that was here before us. And it appeared to me that they do have these fiber, because he mentions it lots of times, that they do have the same, they are on par and getting grants, more grants. And that was one of the reasons he was here, very subtly, that no, they're ready and local and.
But I think he's right. And then when we've talked to Union before, they haven't been able to run their lines because of the Bear River mainly. So they have fiber, but then they go to towers. So they give you fiber service, but through wireless. So they don't have, I don't think they have any.
That's correct.
Is this within the city limits?
Yes.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
So I don't think they have anything within the city limits that's fiber or telecom.
Dedicated
Do they?
fiber lines in the city. They have two and adjacent to the city, but nothing within the city. Union.
Gordon?
So,
I thought you were asking me, but the old lines that they had are in the white right away along I-80.
Right.
Yeah.
Right now, there's nothing else in town.
Okay, that's what I thought. Okay.
Thank you.
so Mr. Harris, so we have contracts with Enbridge and the natural gas. We already have them with CenturyLink. We already have them with
Rocky Mountain?
I mean, all those companies.
Yes.
And have we ever had a problem with?
Pardon?
Have we ever had a problem with any of those contracts?
Not to my knowledge.
Have we used a consultant to help write those in the past?
Don't know that. I wasn't here.
So I'm just, if we're having problems with the contracts we had, I'm just kind of curious why we would spend an extra, what did you?
$14,000?
$14,000 to, I mean, it doesn't sound like in the scheme of things a ton of money, but on the other hand, spending other people's money, I'm just trying to figure out exactly what the full benefit we get for doing that, especially when we haven't had problems before.
Mr. Mayor?
Yes, please.
Councilor Sellers, the reason for that is Visionary's new. And these are telecoms, which are in a class that are treated completely differently under federal law. They enjoy some protections that Enbridge, Rocky Mountain Power do not. The big factor here is because of the way they structure their agreements. When you make an agreement for a franchise fee with one telecom provider, that's going to set the bar for all telecom providers. So we want to maximize that rate and return for the citizens. We also want to make sure we have a term. Is it 10 years, 15 years, 20 years? That is reasonable and makes sense in industry standards. That's what we get the consultant.
But haven't we set that standard with All West?
No, it's because it's up for renewal. And when we're up for renewal, you can.
But the old one, we've had them for multiple times, aren't they? I'm not trying to be argumentative. I'm just trying to get it in my head because we have All West, we have CenturyLink, and we're looking at those and we're saying, we've had those contracts in the past which have all those pieces in.
Correct.
And if we have to mirror that for Visionary, I don't see any problem with doing that without spending extra money. So,
Mr. Mayor, Councilor, that's what I'm saying. But they're 10 years, and why shouldn't they be 15 or 20? And why shouldn't they be 2 or 3%? That's the question I'm asking.
So I clarified with Union. They don't, All West is expired. Visionary's new. What about CenturyLink?
I don't know what the term of century is.
Because they're telecom, aren't they?
They are telecom.
So we'd have to find out if they've already got an existing.
They do have.
So wouldn't that set the standard for the other three?
No, because they're coming up for renewal. And in fact, these renewals may have an effect on CenturyLink to us to go back to them and say, we want to increase it.
We might be made aware of situations that we don't know about that this would expose that we could use in future negotiations.
but if we go 2 to 3%, that just goes back to each of us and all the citizens paying that bill. So the city gets more, but the citizen, that's a tax on the citizens that we're passing to create a tax on our citizens.
Mr. Mayor, Councilor, that's correct, and you're already passing that 1%.
I have, I think what most of us, what's being discussed here is the MFN clause, where the most favored nation clause that Visionary has that loops us, if we agree to Visionary at 1%, then everybody else has to be at 1% or 2%, whatever that is, that most favored nation clause. But an MFN clause is not legally required under state or federal law. And that's the biggest issue I have with this whole thing, because that MFN clause, it permanently reduces our negotiating power. We can never go back until that expires. It also binds future councils to that. And so we cannot adapt to market conditions. And an MFN clause prevents the city from rewarding local investment or responding to future growth. That MFN clause are handcuffs. And if we have even one data center move in here, that right away that we can, so the dedicated ways that you were talking about, Jesse, when it comes to the fiber, it's like a highway, right? So those guys get preference. So they get the right of way and everybody else gets to hold. That's our leverage, especially with future growth. We can have the ability in the future to capitalize for our taxpayers if we do not have an MF. That MFN clause, that might have been I looked at it and I tried to see where it had benefit and why it was done before. And I looked, and I can't say anything nice about it. It takes all the power out of the council that sits here, us and anybody after us, for as long as that term goes. And why should any of the citizens not being able to respond to future growth and investment?
Go ahead.
Mr. Mayor, Councilor Hageman, that's one of the issues. Visionary has proposed a most favored nation clause. There is not one in the All West franchise. And I would be surprised if there's one in the CenturyLink franchise. But that's one of the issues, and that's one of the areas of expertise of Riverwood.
Yes.
Is they've gone through these negotiations, I think I pointed out that they just went through these negotiation with the city of Lander. I think they might have also done something with Pineview. Councillor Welling may know more because he sits on the board. But that's one of the issues, Councillor Hageman, is, what's the city's bargaining position and authority is saying, you can put that in there, but we're not going to accept your most favored nation clause.
Well, that leads to Councillor Sellers' comment. If I can find this information in a half an hour's worth of research, we don't need to spend taxpayer money on a consultant when there's 7 of us who are perfectly capable of making a decision and the information that's put before us. We're not vetting 17 different groups. We're talking about possibly 2.
I guess in my mind, this does feel like a little bit of redundancy in the agreements that we already have. I get that. I think there's an opportunity here. I think the benefit here is to, in essence, kind of see where we've been and see if those decisions were correct. And again, this is a consulting firm. Granted, it is taxpayer money. I take that serious. But it is taxpayer money. But at the same time, it does give us an opportunity to see if the decisions that we have already made in the past are of the greatest benefit to the community and the consumer as a whole, or if there are changes that need to be made and should be made in the future. So it is, and since it's a consulting firm, I guess my understanding is we wouldn't be obligated to do anything that they might suggest or whatever, unless it's a decision that would be made by this council of if it's 1%, 2%, whatever that is. I don't think any of us are in the business of saying we want to gouge the community at all. We want to get the best service for the dollar that we spend as a community and the consumer, the community spends individually. So in my mind, it's especially since this is with the visionary is a new thing. There's some value to me in just having them help us a little bit to make sure that we're on the right track. But that's just my opinion.
So
Mr. Sellers, go ahead.
Mr. Harris, you said that Lander just went through this. What ended up being the results of the?
I don't know. I was just told by River Oaks that they assisted Lander with a negotiation and a franchise.
Like I said, I'm not opposed, but I'm trying to figure out truly what our benefit is from this, and I'm still not.
Mr. Mayor,
please,
if I may, and my recommendation is it's in the best interest of the public to get expert analysis on a federal web of laws and regulations to get the most optimum result for the city. And that's why I made the recommendation.
How much is the 1% yield back on the current existing contracts? I looked it up roughly, but I could be wrong. It was like 19,000 or something a year totaling.
Usually get around 100 and a little over 100,000 a year.
100,000 a year. So my math was wrong one place, but it was correct on the end. So at the end of the contract, we're roughly around $1 million back. But so that's over a decade plus, yeah?
I'm saying in years.
I think 100 is what we budgeted. I think it was closer to 120 is what we received, if I remember right.
168,500 this year is what we budgeted. This report's only through September, and we've received 47,000.
Mr. Mayor, may I ask a question?
Please.
Trudy, is that for all of our franchisees?
That's for all of them.
So that's for telecoms, power, and gas.
Okay.
I have a question, Mr. Harris. Because I still have questions on this also. Would it be appropriate to table this, or is this?
That's up to the council.
Is there maybe that's a question too. Is there a time frame? Do we have a little time to?
Time frame Visionary, when they submitted their request for the franchise, that starts the clock ticking at 6 months.
Okay,
And that was made in December.
okay.
I'd like to make a motion then that we
Council's vote.
table this until we can have some further discussion.
We've got two items that are relative to River Oaks. Do you want to combine, is your motion involve
Yes,
both
sir.
of those, table both
Both.
of these motions?
Yes, sir.
We've got a motion to table both both agreements with River Oaks and All West and Visionary. Is there a second on that motion?
I'll second.
Mr. Schmidt seconded, or made the motion, Ms. Hegeman seconding. Is there any discussion?
There's a lot of discussion been going on. Mine was just to clarify the telecom, the franchise, and I understand why you would hire River Oaks to get an expert in there. I don't want to get the best deal for the city, but then have it pass on to the public. But at the same time, I like their expertise to make sure that the city doesn't get in a bind. You know, we signed something where the city's going to be on the hook for something we don't want to be on the hook for. So Mr. Harris, I understand why you made the motion. I just needed more clarification on it. The CenturyLink one though, do you have any idea when that one's up?
I do not. Mr.
No
Mayor, I
idea.
don't.
And will Visionary use the CenturyLink agreement to say they need to mirror it?
No. Mr. Mayor, Councilor, no. Because they've already sent a proposed form of draft ordinance for agreement.
Okay, so that CenturyLink agreement doesn't have premise over the other agreements that are going to be set forth?
Correct.
Why is that?
Because if the favored nation clause is not in the visionary agreement, we could charge them. There would be a
That's
question
not-
about discriminatory.
So that's the clause that would make it so that it sets
Yes.
everybody?
Yes, it makes it the same visionary.
Gotcha. Okay, thank you.
And they're
That's-
new. See,
Okay,
so that's why I thought it was important that we had that looked at, because that's a new franchise.
but also at the same time, if we add Visionary to our telecom plethora of options, that should help the general public drive down costs because we've got more options as well. So I'm about getting Visionary on board, but let's make sure we do it right. So I understand why you want River Oaks. Personally, you've answered all my questions. I would be fine paying this consulting company to come in and get it done right, but if we need to table it,
We've got a motion and a second to table. Is there any further discussion on that motion?
Where are we at with All West? Because it ended December.
Same time period, Counselor.
So we got 6 months to
Yes.
get. In the meantime, they still have to pay or they don't
Yes.
pay?
They'll be paying their 1% under their agreements,
Okay.
prior agreements.
So technically, we could table this, talk about it at a work session possibly, and then vote on it the next meeting.
Can yeah, I would assume yes. Or if we're comfortable with moving forward, I think I am, but I'm, whatever. The choice is
But
to
the
table. then
motion
we'll-
is to table
If we
it.
table, then we'll table. If not, we'll make a decision on the agreements. So,
And that you feel like that would be soon enough if it did get tabled for the next council meeting to approve or disapprove?
Yeah, I would, the only thing I'd request is if you table it indefinitely, that can be meant that it won't be brought up again. It's a way to stop a motion. So I would just ask if there's a motion to table, Counselor, if you could table it until maybe the next regular meeting or.
I'd
I'd adapt that to that.
like to amend your
Your Honor.
motion to that effect.
Yes, sir.
Ms. Hegeman, would you still second that motion?
Yeah, with
The
the
20th?
agreement that we talk about it at the work session first.
And it would be
Yeah, so we
voted
all
on
got
again in 2
full
weeks, the next
understanding.
regular meeting.
January 20th.
Okay. Got a motion to table these issues until January 20th? Is that what you told me? Yes.
Yeah.
And second?
Before we vote, Mark, you're for sure that time frame's fine?
Pardon?
You're okay that time frame's fine?
Yeah, we're not going to go for 6 months.
We'd still be fine, okay.
So we got
Then
time.
that's-
We can do that. If that's the case, then if there's no further discussion, all in favor of tabling this item until January 20, say aye.
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 Are there any opposed? I'll vote in favor of that table, so let's be a unanimous, that's tabled until January 20th. And we will move on to Resolution 2601. Mr. Harris, read that title for us, please.
Mayor, Resolution 2601 is a resolution of the City of Evanston, Wyoming, authorizing the execution of an agreement with ConWest, Inc. for the completion of all work required for construction of the Evanston Parks and Recreation Facility re-roof project.
Mayor Williams, Council, Kim Larson, Evanston Parks and Rec. This is just a resolution to execute the agreement with ConWest, who is the low bidder for our roof.
Thank you. We talked about this last meeting, I believe, a little bit. Is there an introduction on this resolution?
I'll introduce with the motion to pass.
Mr. Sellers of the motion, is there a second?
I'll second it, Your Honor.
Schmidt seconding. Discussion.
It'd be nice. It's going to be really nice to have that fixed.
Yes,
It's really going to be.
it's going to be wonderful. It's going to be glorious.
Put the buckets away, you think?
Yeah, we'll put the buckets away.
Remind me, besides the expenditure in buckets that catch rain, this was the bid that came in under what you were anticipating?
Yeah, it came just under what we had budgeted for, so,
Yeah, bonus.
yep.
Any
That was
further
a
discussion?
good thing.
I know it's a big price tag, but it's been well overdue.
Oh, yeah.
It needs
it's
to be
definitely
done.
well overdue.
We've got to start taking care of our facilities.
It's going to save that building because it's just going to, so much more damage will be done over years.
Yes, and then that kind of leads to our next resolution. Water is bad.
If there's no further discussion on this resolution, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Are there any opposed? That's approved. Resolution 2602, Mr. Harris, please.
Thank you, Mayor. Resolution 2602 is a resolution of the City of Evanston, Wyoming, authorizing the execution of a professional services agreement with Crest LLC, a Wyoming limited liability company, to provide engineering services relating to the Evanston Parks and Recreation Center retaining wall mitigation, site grading improvements, and erosion control project.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, Mayor and Council, this is water problem number 2 that we're addressing at the same time. That will assist in, Crest will assist in the planning and facilitating and oversight of the retaining walls and water mitigation behind the rec center.
Another issue that we've been dealing with for a while.
Yes. And this is all going to happen at the same time. And it's going to be painful, but it'll be great when it's
Now,
done.
if we can put up with the road construction we've had and the bridge and everything.
Yeah,
we can
and
deal
nobody
with some
goes to the rec center in the summer. You should be out at our parks. in the
Yes, you should.
sunshine.
I was thinking the same thing. It can't be any worse than having City View tore up for 3 years.
City View overpass, this is mine.
Yeah, this is
Piece of
nothing.
cake, isn't it? Is there an introduction on this resolution?
I'll introduce with the motion to pass.
Mr. Lynn with the motion, is there a second?
I'll second it, Your Honor.
Mr. Perk seconding. Any discussion?
I'm just going to say this. I saw some chatter online about this. That was, the people were not in understanding that we were spending money on the retaining wall.
Okay.
So I just wanted to clarify for the public, the retaining wall is necessary because the side of the mountain is sliding into the,
Yeah.
we saw pictures of it when it was all in the work session, but the public didn't see that because it was work session. But the base of the building is eroding, and it's going to, we'll put on a new roof, and without this, it will collapse to one side. And
Yeah,
it
so the
floods
hillside.
into everything. You can elaborate, but I just wanted to clarify for people because they did not understand why we were doing the retaining wall. And there was quite a bit of negative chatter. So you want to just give a brief
Yeah, basically just over time, the hillside erodes and slides down into the building. And the one retaining wall that's in the employee parking lot has actually shifted and was to a point where it was unsafe. So we had a lot of the dirt removed from behind that retaining wall. But we are going to shore up. In fact, I have pictures of what the new retaining wall, but it'll be in stages, like to hold the sediment back, and then the water to mitigate around the building, not straight into the building. So for instance, if we have a big thaw or rainstorm in the spring, our gun range will flood. So we're just diverting water and shoring up our retaining walls. So it's not a new, it'll be an expanded retaining wall, but
Trying to keep the building from washing down the hill.
yes.
Down
Yep,
City View
and
Drive,
keep
yeah.
the water out.
Well, a big part of that too was the electrical that was getting covered up with sediment.
Yep, and
It's
we'll
not
be-
just that wall, there's a lot
And we'll
of
be
things.
moving the electrical transformer away from that area as well.
Yeah, that's a big one.
Yeah.
It wasn't just dirt moving, it was protecting the building,
Yes.
ensuring the safety.
We need to try to keep,
keeping the
it's an
electrical.
aging building and we
Yeah,
want to keep it healthy as long as we can. So.
And it was the cheapest way to do that
Yeah.
versus, getting your perms via the electrical in the
Yes,
gun range
exactly.
after a thaw, that kind of thing. So it was absolutely necessary.
Yes.
So any further
Thank you for
discussion?
bringing that up.
Thank you, Ms. Larson.
Thank you for being on top of this too.
No
It's-
problem.
A lot of these things have been
Put off.
put off.
I've
let's
learned,
put it that way.
I've learned a lot.
Yeah.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Are there any opposed? That's approved. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Oh, one last thing, non sequitur. Do we still have the trees available?
Yes, the trees are still available until Friday, January 16th. You can find them online at evanstonparksandrec.org, or you can just stop by the rec center and pick one up.
So $50 trees that are
$50
normally.
trees are normally over 200.
Yeah, so
And
anybody.
we have grants to give away free watering bags as well, and stakes and lines to hold your tree, and
So
it's a
spread the word to
great
the
deal.
community. Get your tree
Yeah.
now by January 16th.
yes. Thank you. It's a great program.
It is. I've got a few of them.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Kim. Resolution 2603. Mr. Harris, please.
Mr. Mayor, Resolution 2603 is a resolution of the City of Evanston, Wyoming, authorizing the execution of a grant agreement between the State of Wyoming Department of State Parks and Cultural Resources, State Historic Preservation Office, and Evanston Historic Preservation Commission for the Evanston Historic Downtown Walking Tour Brochure Project.
Thank you, Mr. Harris. Mika wasn't feeling well. She went home early tonight prior to the meeting. I have this, and I think everyone's aware of what we're talking about. This is a grant that we're applying for to have the brochures printed. She gave me a little list of, or a little handout here relative to it, but I'll read it if you guys want me to, or if we're aware of what we're doing here. What do you?
She came and talked about it already.
She did,
right?
yeah, a couple weeks back. So I think if this is just
It's been 15 years
I
since.
was going to say,
brochures. But this is honestly, it's just Mika doing her job. She was wanting to make sure that we understand, but I think we all do. I'll read this if everybody wants me
For
to.
the public,
but
I'd read it.
I can read it. I can still read. In November of last year, Evanston's Historic Preservation Commission submitted a grant request to the State Historic Preservation Office to design and print 3,000 new historic downtown walking tour brochures. We're pleased to announce SHPO has agreed to fund this project. We will be receiving $3,720 from SHPO and a 40% match coming from the city's HPC line item of $2,480, with the total project costing $6,200. While this project must be completed by the fall of 2027, the HPC board anticipates completing the project much sooner. Once redesigned and printed, the brochures will be distributed at various public and private locations such as City Hall, the Chamber of Commerce, Uintah County Museum, Bear River State Park, hotels, restaurants, and shops. Additionally, a digital version will be available on several public websites. Thank you for supporting this project. If you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer them. Of course, that's Mika answering those questions. The HPC budget's $15,000. After the grant match is $12,300. So that's what that's all about. Is there an introduction on this resolution?
I'll introduce with a motion to pass.
Mr. Lynn, the motion, is there a second?
Second.
Sellers seconding? Any discussion?
We can readdress this 15 years from now.
Absolutely. We're all still around. We can yet. There's no further discussion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Are there any opposed? That's approved. Thank you. Departments. Mr. O'Neill, you have anything for us tonight, sir?
Yes, sir. I just want to say thank you for the reappointment. I don't take this job for granted. It's an amazing job. It's my dream job. It's an honor to serve the community. So thank you. Look forward to another year of it. Jump Start begins next Wednesday, 6 o'clock in the Roundhouse. You're all invited. It's free. 7-week course. Each week we choose different disciplines. So I'm going to thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Larson, do you have anything more for us tonight?
Nothing more, Your Honor.
Okay. Mr. Newsom.
Just thank you for the reappointment. Look forward to another good year, so thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Robinson.
Same thing. Thank you.
Chief Radish.
Yes, sir. Same exact thing. Thank you.
Ms. Lim.
Yes, thank you for the reappointment.
Thank you. Ms. Harris, do you have anything for us tonight?
Same thing. Thank you very much.
Mr. Harris, do you have anything for us tonight, sir?
Thank you, council. I appreciate your confidence.
Thank you. Public participation. Is there anyone here from the public that would like to address the council for any reason?
Kathy Cook, 912 Main. I have a few things. First of all, the people in the audience that speak, if you could speak in the mic, then the people watching this on video can watch and hear what you're saying.
Okay.
Okay. I'd like to thank Jim Davis and Shelley Horn for all that they've done for HPC, Historic Preservation Commission, throughout their lifetime. I think it's 22 years. They helped with restoration of the Roundhouse, the machine shop, the Depot Square, many other things, including beautification of our downtown with our new sidewalks and that type of thing. And I don't know that they've gotten the recognition that they deserve. So I would like to personally thank them, and I think it would be nice if people would tell them thank you. Then I'd like to thank Jen for her comments tonight. It really moved me. I wanted to say thank you last because it made me tear up. My dad was a World War II vet, and I've heard all kinds of stories and went to the reunions and loved all those. So anyway, thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Is there a motion to adjourn?
I'll make that motion.
Mr. Welling making a motion. Is there a second? Second. All in favor? Aye. We are adjourned.
Writing those stories down in the book. You know, there's a couple of